Hi, folks. Joseph Kursky here with you to examine a critical issue of our time, and that is wildfires. If we look at wildfires with ArcGIS Online, Living Atlas of the World data, and the ArcGIS Online map viewer, it's going to give us some insights into the grim but important situation happening in Southern California, January 2025. Now, natural hazards are part of our dynamic planet, right? We have hazards that happen throughout the span of time that the Earth has existed, exacerbated by the 8 billion humans that are settled on that planet, where there's a finite set of land masses, there's finite ecosystems that we can live in. And one of the most fire-prone ecosystems in the world is the chaparral ecosystem, which spans part of Greece, Italy, Spain, and also Southern California. Compounding the naturally occurring wildfires there are the close proximity, in this case, with 8 million people in Los Angeles County alone, plus another 5 million in the surrounding metropolitan area. So 15-ish million people living in close proximity to that chaparral biome. I want to say that this is an important set of tools and perspectives to teach economics, certainly physical and cultural geography, environmental science, business, sociology, the behavior of human beings, earth science, earth system science, and also geographic information systems and science and technology. These tools and data sets can be used in powerful ways in those courses. So they make for the data, and the tools make for very powerful teaching tools about inquiry, solving problems, looking at patterns, relationships, and trends. But beyond all of that, beyond all of the teaching and learning moments that can occur with these data sets and tools, are the very important points as follows. These tools are also being used to build resilience in communities and to build sustainability in communities. How do we plan future wildfire mitigation efforts? How do we rescue people and save property and lives right now? How do we get those emergency responders in there? Where's the fire going? Let's look at current weather conditions, elevation, population density, et cetera. So these same tools are actually being used in the workplace by government agencies, nonprofit, industry, consortia of government agencies, et cetera. So these tools, for example, ArcGIS by Esri, are being used in powerful ways. Yes, they can be used for teaching and learning. Yes, it's a viable career path to learn about these tools and these perspectives and to solve problems with these tools, but they're also actually being used in the workplace. So we're going to look at an educational set of things that you can do with these tools, but remember, these are grim details. These are real situations. They've devastated people's lives, property, memories, whole families, whole communities have been devastated. So my heart goes out to those folks and their families dealing with such loss, and also to the emergency responders. God bless them all. God bless you all. So let's take a look at how did I get the data into this map viewer right now. I went to the Living Atlas of the World. The ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World has about 9,000 data layers in it. One of them is current wildfires for the USA. Does this layer exist beyond the USA? Sure, we've got wildfire feeds for Canada, for many other countries of the world. So depending on the data that you're looking at and depending on the feeds that are available, they may or may not be in a GIS, and they may or may not be in this ArcGIS system. In this case, we're going to look at USA wildfires and show you some things that you can do with this data layer and these set of tools. I'm not even signed in for this purpose of this demo and this video. I'm not signing in. Sure, if I sign in, I'd have additional tools and I'd have additional saving capabilities, and I could make map derivatives. I could make instant apps, story maps, dashboards, etc. But in this particular video, I want to show what are some powerful things I can do. The first thing I can do is I can pull up that USA current wildfire map. I've got the perimeters, and I've also got the incidents and the perimeters. So if I take a look at, this is a layer that actually contains 2 layers. So it's a group layer that you can examine. Let's take a look at perimeters. If I look at perimeters and I open the table, if I show table, look, calculated area. Wow, if I sort this, and I've got 22 records in there, and I go to one of these and I zoom to selection, I'm going to see, according to this data set, and again, it's important to look at the metadata. So if we look at the metadata in that USA current wildfires feed, I exhort and encourage you to read the metadata. It's important to know where the data comes from, who created it, how often it's updated, what scale is it created at, etc. So if I can use it, what are the permissions, all that sort of thing are in this metadata item page, it's called. So once I've examined that and I make sure it's suitable and fit for my use, I can go ahead and zoom to that current wildfire that we were looking at before. So perimeters, let's take a look at the data table in there. So data table, and let's scroll to the right there and look at the areas. And I'm going to do a reverse sort. I'm going to go to this one right here, 98,000 acres, according to this data set. And then if I lower that table, I can look at, okay, this one's in north central Wyoming. And now I've got another thing that's powerful in a GIS. I have another data layer that I've added from the ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World, and that is the North America population density. Let's turn that one on. Okay, now let's take a look at the legend. Okay, let's take a look at the legend here, which is actually, if I take a look at the legend, it's right over here. So I've got people per square kilometer. The areas that are in this sort of yellowish color, I can see that on the eastern edge of this wildfire, there are some people living there. Not very many. The density is fairly low, but if I go back to Los Angeles and I can do a search over here in the lower right, let's take a look at these search tools. So I can type in Los Angeles right here and zoom right to it, or I could scroll and pan on the map. Either way, now I've got the G part, which is the map, and the I part is the table of data. Like this, these pop-ups pull from the data table. So I can look at the acres burned, et cetera, for the Altadena area, for the Palisades area, and other areas in Los Angeles County that I can see here if I go ahead and go back to the layer and make sure that my perimeters and the incidents are both on. So now I can see the grim details again. This is a grim situation. And I can also look at, I can change the base map and I can look at, oh, imagery hybrid. What does it look like in those neighborhoods right now with these perimeters? But the imagery could be a year old, it could be a half a year old, et cetera. So it's not current imagery, but it's the current perimeters. You can see this Altadena area right here, flat area, and all these houses that were devastated in that area. A lot of this area is mountainous, but still some houses up there as well. And if there's no houses, there's still impact, right? Water, animals, plants, the stability of the slope, the soils, all that is impacted. Let's change that base map back to streets, and let's just change it to topographic. Now I can really get a good sense of the topography in both of those particular fire areas, and also in these other incidents in the flatter areas of Los Angeles. So I can see that population density gives me a sense of, okay, what's the population density of areas affected by the wildfire incidents, and then also the wildfire incidents themselves. Again, let's go to wildfires. Let's go to perimeters. Let's go to that review of that table of data. Let's look at the calculated area, and I can go to this one here. And let's go to the second one this time because we already know that first one is up in Wyoming. Let's go to that second one, and this one is in Oregon. Let's lower this one and take a look. That's going to be in Central Oregon right now. So take a look at the pop-ups are all customizable that you can use for more powerful insights as you map, as you look at patterns, as you ask questions, as you encourage your students to ask questions about this. So again, ArcGIS Online, Living Atlas of the World, ArcGIS Online Map Viewer, and looking at a grim but important situation. The Earth is a dynamic planet, right? We've got lots happening on the planet. Wildfires, migration, climate, weather, etc. Population change, deforestation, reforestation, all kinds of things happening on the planet, both natural caused and human caused. And sometimes they work together, right? Because in this particular area, which is the chaparral biome to a large extent, that area covers parts of Greece, Italy, Spain, and Southern California. So when you've got a naturally wildfire-prone ecosystem, an ecoregion, and then you've got 15 million people living in close proximity, that's what happens. The grim situation, but it's an important one. It's an important one to study in multiple areas in the curriculum, not just at the university level. I've worked with primary students, I've worked with secondary school students, after-school students, and a variety of others, all ages, looking at patterns, relationships, and trends. This is what really matters, and this is the kind of stuff that we should be teaching because it's interdisciplinary. It's environmental. It's human behavior. It's structures. It's the built environment. It's a natural environment. It's scale. It's dynamic planet. It's multidisciplinary, and the students are looking at the whys of where. That's what unites all these disciplines, is the whys of where, the spatial thinking that happens, the critical thinking, the problem solving. So I again submit, as I have in other videos, that this is an important topic. It's a grim topic, but it's an important one that we need to be teaching about, not just now, but in the future. Thanks for being with me. And again, my heart goes out to all those involved. You folks take care.